Welcome fashion lovers. You have just tuned into Carol Creations online tutorials. We are going to be making this Ankara pinafore gathered gown. It is serving straight stripes in front and cross stripes at the back. So we are going to be using this beautiful cotton Ankara fabric. Here I have my measurements, which we are going to use for this particular tutorials. I'm going to begin by cutting out the down part, which will be made up of is 360 degrees flare with excess to be gathered at the waist. So I'm going to multiply the waist measurement by 3. So it is waist times 3. And the value I got, I divided by 6.28 to get my radius. So I'm going to measure my radius from the folded angle all round. So that's the radius. After drawing my radius, I'm going to measure the length of the gown from the waist to the knee, which is 15 inches. I'm going to draw all round. So this first part we are cutting is a 180 degree, and we are going to cut 2 of these to give us a 360 degree flare in excess, because we are going to use gathers at the waist. So we are cutting 2 of these. So I'm going to fold my material and place on it and cut the second one. So here we have 2 of the flare parts. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut the waistbands. I decided to use 2 different waistbands for front and back. And on this band, we are going to use elastic. That's why I decided to extend the band to be a bit longer so that we can draw it with elastic band. So we are cutting 2 of these waistbands. So we have our waistbands. The next thing is to cut the shoulder stripes. We are also going to cut 2 of these. So I'm using 2.5 inches. You can use 2.5 or 3 inches, so that when you sew and turn, it can give you 2 inches. And I'm going to use 23 plus 5 inches for allowance. You can cut it longer and the rest can remain inside the skirt part. So I'm going to sew all the stripes and I'll use my screwdriver to turn. I've also gone ahead and weaved or overlocked the edges of the flare. So I'm going to sew 2 lines on each part of the flare at the waistline, and I will draw gathers with these 2 lines. Make sure your gather stitch is very loose so that you can easily be drawn. So I'm just going to quickly draw the gathers on both flares. Arrange them and make sure it gives the waist measurement plus some extra inches. Here I have the band for the shoulder. I'm going to iron it neatly, and I've also gone ahead and ironed the waistbands. So I'm going to mark the center of the gathered waist and also the center of my band. And I'm going to match these 2 centers. I will sew firstly on one side and then I close it up and top stitch. I left the 2 sides open so that I can pass my elastic band inside. This is the elastic band we are using, 1 inch elastic band, and I'm going to use the waist measurement minus 2 inches to cut the elastic band because I don't want it too tight on the child's waist. So I'm going to use this safety pin to quickly pass through this elastic band on the waistband, inside the waistband, and I stitch it down at the sides to hold it down. So I'm doing so for both sides. So here is our front part and back part neatly sewn. I also sewed a straight line at the center of the elastic band to hold it down and make it look neater. So now we are going to place the front part on the back part, good sides facing good sides, and I'll stitch it down. So I've already sewn down the sides, and here we have the skirt part already completed. I also went ahead and hemmed the lower part with 1/2 inch. So now we are going to mark the center front of the skirt and the center back, and we are going to measure 2 inches away from the center to place the shoulder stripes. So we are beginning 2 inches away from the center front. We place the 2 stripes in front, and the next thing is to flip it over and also pin the back part. And for the back part, we are going to cross them over each other. We also mark 2 inches away from the center back to place the bands. So we cross it over each other, and we use the shoulder to waist measurement, that's the half length, to place the bands. And any excess is left inside, or you can trim it off after sewing, after top stitching. So I'm simply going to pin down everything and see how it looks like. So make sure you measure the waist to the shoulder to waist measurement before pinning, so that the bands do not become too long and they are falling off. So this is our dress. I'm going to top stitch, and that is the end of the process. You can see the outcome. I'm going to wear it on the mannequin and let's see how it looks like. Ta-da! This is it, looking beautiful on the mannequin. I also went ahead and attached a bow at the center front on the waist. This makes the color pop out and becomes more beautiful. Thank you for watching Carol Creations tutorial. Please kindly hit on the subscribe button to support my channel. Thank you.